Did you know a 2018 study showed half of prenatal vitamins tested had unacceptable levels of heavy metals? I'm Kat, mother of 3 and founder of Ritual. When I was 4 months pregnant, I couldn't find a prenatal I could trust, so I created my own. Ours is made traceable, third-party tested for heavy metals, and recently earned the Purity Award from the Clean Label Project. But don't just take my word for it. Get 25% off at ritual.com/prenatal.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Porter. With me, Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just here ready for another great episode of One Nation Radio. Had a fun weekend, and was at Monteese's album release party. Connected with quite a few people, Kevin Knight being one of them. So shout out to Kevin Knight. Perhaps we kind of made plans to do something in the future, so look out for that. We got we got people acting up all over the place, including Twitter. We got, my Twitter has been a minefield of late. Just people going insane, arguing with me that things such as blackface are okay. And, it was just a lot, man. And, seeing the whole deal with Liv Morgan and Dom Mysterio. This is another Liv Morgan will never win example, by the way. I'm batting 1,000 on that one, baby. So I don't know where to begin on those two things, James.
Okay, all right. Chronologically, what was first?
So let me pull it up so I don't make this error. So we had a deal with MVP, basically responding to a bunch of people on Instagram. There were like 8 different messages to where he kind of, he was responding to fans. And in those responses, these people wanted to see the Hurt Business, and they wanted to know why the group was broken up. They want to they like the group. They want to bring it back, blah, blah, blah. It happened during the pandemic. I didn't watch much of the Hurt Business. I have no real opinion either way.
I've heard a lot of people say things about how much they liked Hurt Business at the time. And this is when they were, pushing Bobby Lashley as a star of Raw, or as a top star on Raw, a champion on Raw, if you will. So I get why people said they liked it at the time.
Yeah. So he started replying to people things like, someone wrote him, "Can't believe Vince fucked this up. I assume it was him." MVP replies, "Triple H had the power to fix it." Shrug. Someone's like, "Should have kept y'all together. Damn you, Vince." And then once again, MVP, Triple H had the power to fix it. He chose not to. Go figure. Someone said, "As much as I would love to see the Hurt Business back on TV, the only way I want it is if Shelton Benjamin is back in the fold. Ain't no Hurt Business without him. Once he's back, let's run it back." MVP replies, "That's the only way. The current regime doesn't want it either." And MVP, so you got to talk to Hunter, Nick, and William and get the band back together with Lashley, Shelton, and Cedric. MVP says, we did. He said no. Someone was like, can we get the Hurt Business back? MVP says Triple H said no. The Triple H era is emasculating black men. I'm really hating it. And then MVP says, you see it. MVP works for WWE right now. Why is this not a bigger story? Someone says, what noise do we have to make for the Hurt Business to happen again? MVP says none. It's over. The powers that be made that clear. 305 MVP, quote, Triple H, somebody like you doesn't get to be a world champion. It's your job to make people like me laugh. He meant that, shaking my head. MVP replies 100 emoji to this. So I saw all that stuff and I was like, wow, that's
it's really candid.
Yeah, it's like, one, he doesn't give a fuck. Two, this is about more than the Hurt Business. And I think people were trying to minimize this and was like, all this over the Hurt Business. I'm like, no, you got to read between the lines, like on this stuff. This is like, he's saying not only shit for me not getting passed through, stuff for all these other people not getting passed through. And if you look at these cards in these prominent positions, these pay-per-views, who's getting plugged in where, I don't see no niggas. Like, and
I mean,
what niggas you do see?
I mean, except for like Jade and Bianca. That's the only like prominent like black act I think they have going for them right now.
Look at how Bianca has been used now in the last like 18 months compared to previously. The whole Jade thing is a handcuffing act for Bianca. That is a carry job. That is
that's a side quest until we can push you again, in my opinion. But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so I sent a simple message out. Nothing too crazy that I thought. I was like, yeah, man, this is the same guy that came out on national television more than once in blackface. Right. What did y'all expect?
Yeah.
Do we expect like the liberty and justice for all my niggas? No, like that's not how this works. Like, yo, like I don't know if I'm too close to the situation, having known like what someone that I know that has dealt with Triple H. Like I know what's going on in there. Like, do y'all remember when Keith Lee showed up with that Black Lives Matter gear on?
Oh, but you're about to talk about the Road Dogg and Shawn Michaels fight backstage or
There's
argument
that.
backstage.
There's that, and then like,
do we have to give context to the people because people might not know that story?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So after George Floyd, right? Is after George Floyd, right?
Yes.
Yeah. After George Floyd was killed for no good reason by law enforcement. Keith Lee wore Black Lives Matter on his trunks for I think it was a NXT takeover or equivalence of that at the time. I don't know if they changed the name of it by that point in time. And backstage, apparently, Road Dogg was like, "Why is he wearing that crap?" And then Shawn was like, basically yelled on him and said like, "Because of what the fuck's going on." And that was like the argument that was happening backstage at the time. I forgot who reported it or the rumors got started or whatever else at the time, but that was out there when it happened.
You know, and there were speeches given by Triple H like around this time, these pep talks and stuff like that. And look, man, I don't need to say this out loud. Come to the One Nation Radio Discord. We'll talk about it there. But yeah, let's just say I don't know if Triple H exactly was in line with the messaging of Keith Lee. So, I don't know, man. I got a lot of like stank replies. So it was like, yeah, man, just, you know, people brought up the Triple H and Booker T stuff. That stuff isn't really the stuff I was talking about. Like, that's on screen stuff. The blackface stuff, while also on screen, however, you have a choice in that.
Right.
And Triple H said as much in the book he wrote with Shawn Michaels that I was sent by Aaron Ratosky. Shout out to Aaron. Where The Rock went to him earlier in the day and was like, I'm uncomfortable with this. And then Triple H, in his words, and yes, I come prepared with these statements here. I'm going to read this off just so we don't fuck this up. On July 6, 1998, we pulled off our first parody. In this instance, we played Part of the Nation. As usual, our actions were not without controversy. It was fun doing the Nation parody. The creative team told us to dress up like the Nation and make fun of them so we could turn it into a program. Kid did not want to do it. I remember having to hold his arms out so he could put the sweatshirt over his fat pad so he could look like Mark Henry. He was like a little child saying, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. He really hated the idea. Then we got out there and people started reacting to it. He was really hilarious. When we got to the back, he couldn't stop talking about how great it was. And I was like, shut up. You didn't even want to do it in the first place. When we all sat down trying to come up with the verbiage and a game plan, I remember Rock was very sensitive about race. He came to me during the day and he thought that it was wrong we were putting black paint on our faces like it was a minstrel show. Are you ready? I explained that we weren't making fun of you because you are black. We were just making fun of you. If I didn't go out there looking black, if I'm ghostly white, then I'm not The Rock. I just look like an idiot. Mark Henry is really dark. If Kid went out there pasty white like he is naturally, it's not going to look like Mark Henry, and the skit won't work. Still, Rock was against it. I think once he saw what we did, he was okay with it because he saw that it wasn't about being black. It was about making fun of those characters. This parody was the kind of thing you could do with 10 different people and get 10 entirely different kinds of skits. But I think with the gel we had as a group, we were able to do this kind of work really well. And once the creative team saw anything we can do, they felt they could trust us with just about anything. That one sentence in there is doing a whole lot of work. I think once he saw what we did, he was okay with it because he saw that it wasn't about being black. No. That sentence is doing as heavy of lifting as Scott Steiner, James.
Look, man, that line where he says that like people wouldn't get the parody unless we paint ourselves. If we paint ourselves is like no. Then no one could ever sarcastically mock somebody by changing their voice inflection to the ridicule or the thing someone just said, because there's no color in voices. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, not at all. Absolutely not. Like, that was garbage. And also, Triple H at the time, calling himself ghostly white when that man had the bronzer on like he was in a fucking Mr. Olympia competition at all times in that era is preposterous. You were never bronze, or you were never ghostly white that I've ever seen on national television.
So, like, when I hear this guy, this same man, I haven't heard about some great awakening that Triple H has had over, these years and him being in his mid-50s now or whatever. This guy is who he is. He's like anybody else. Why would I think, like, I got so many responses. Are you calling Triple H a racist? I was like, actually, I didn't. All I said was Triple H went out on national television several times in blackface. What the fuck did anyone expect? This isn't somebody that's sensitive to the plight of African Americans or anything, or really cares. Like, he just kind of assumes and operates. And this is like directly, these are the words from his book. Unless his book was ghost written and this is not a reflection of who he was, like, I think it's pretty damning right there. But yet, people, of course, hurt that I would take their hero, Paul Levesque, to the carpet on basic things that the man did. They act like it didn't happen. Or I'm the enemy, James, for counting, or even better, James, it's AEW's fault. Like, I don't, like, you AEW fan, I'm like, yo, This is a issue that is being raised by MVP, a man that I know that doesn't have any problem holding his tongue about anything. You can look up the Chris Jericho and the MVP situation they had. This, I feel like we should be talking about this since MVP is still on the payroll. Everyone's tight-lipped there. They have The Rock now on the board of directors. There's a black person on the board. How about I think it would be great for Triple H and The Rock to, while they're working on approving the DVD at WrestleMania that still hasn't come out, why don't we get them back together and see if we can speak on this?
I think they got an announcement date on that. Like it comes out in July, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it actually did happen before, or came out before, or is coming out before SummerSlam. So that's good.
I said it.
But, yeah, man. It's
McMahon. Triple H, Paul Levesque is not your father. Stop this.
It's always, look, man, I remember you were saying at the time, like, why is Triple H doing the call-out thing after WrestleMania 40? And it's like, because, like, there always needs to be a cult of personality. Like, there always needs to be, for these people that are, like, WWE fans, like, a person that is, like, the head coach, the CEO. There needs to be a Phil Jackson, a Pat Riley, a Jerry West, that they know is at the helm controlling all of this and crafting that they can create. Is like, this is the genius. And it's like, for a lot of television and media, or whatever else, there are things like that, like the part where, Stan Lee from Marvel for in comic books for forever, right? That was always a thing. But I don't necessarily think that we need that now. Like, if this was a committee effort, if there was a WWE booking committee, like we treated like the territories was the NWA committee.
Well, there is at certain times of the year.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if it was like a bullpen that was handling all this stuff, and and no one got all the credit or all the blame, and there was no source for someone to fall on or someone get all the credit when it's good or bad, I don't think it would make a difference. I just think that, like, WWE has always ran on, or at least post the first WrestleMania, that, like, this is ever since Vince Jr. bought it, that, like, this is one person is the genius, the CEO, the driver of all of this, and they don't know how to work without people people that are watching this, knowing that there is somebody that is at the, in Gorilla talking to people, calling the plays. I don't think you necessarily need that. Like, I don't think this has been good with Tony Khan and AEW feeling the need to do this at times either. But it happens. And, it works out for the good, and other times it works for the bad. And most of the time when I'm on Twitter, all I see is the bad. So I'm thinking, like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. Yeah. I got so much blowback on this.
Because if there was no commit, like now post the WrestleMania, or say the WWE pay-per-view, or PLE, whatever the fuck you want to call them, like those press conferences, same thing with, AEW does them, right? When there's some real shit going on, who they want to talk to? They want to talk to you, Paul. They want to talk to you, Tony. If it was a bullpen committee, there wouldn't be nobody for them to talk to in that way. Just a thought. Yeah,
I really want to, seeing MVP talk about this, and then look at the weak pushes. Like, look at I saw a post.
Hold on, real quick. Gotta handle some business. Bob Kane. Is Bob Kane the dude that basically that lied and said he created Batman? I think Bob Kane is the fraud. I'm not sure. Let's see. I think Bob Kane is the actual fraud.
I have never heard of Bob Kane.
So two people are credited with creating Batman is Bob Kane and Bill Finger. One of them is the one that you think is the one that most likely did. The other one is like basically the person that's taking all the credit for doing it when no one actually believes that when they talk about it, actually believes he actually came up with it. But he's the motherfucker that put on his tombstone, I'm the person that created Batman. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those. So I think Bob Kane is one of those. So hold on. Just want to make sure. Because if I come up on this bitch and pull up his tombstone and you see that fucking Batman logo on there, you be like, are you serious? This is how you want to be remembered. It don't say father, husband, grandfather, family man, none of that. It says creator of Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Unreal. But look at, a year ago, I believe they created that group with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits called the Pride. Yeah. I can only recall them being like booked on one pay-per-view. Like, do you think this has helped the Street Profits career of getting Triple H in power?
Was that WrestleMania?
I think so.
When they sold the gin and juice or the chicken? Which one?
Yep, when they sold the chicken. Correct.
Well, which one was gin and juice? One was the gin and juice, one was the chicken. It was either the J match or the...
I think they were the gin and juice and the women were the chicken.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and then also, when they had the Rey Mysterio match with all the Mexicans, they had the Modelo.
Correct.
And while distasteful, within the next week, I had Wingstop and that Modelo joints. The Modelo's good. It's shameful, it's tasteless, but I never would have bought that shit if I had thought about it and I hadn't seen it on screen. It worked. It worked. The bigotry works. The stereotype worked on me. I'm part of the problem.
Unreal.
See, this is why Tunnel Talk wanted me to be deplatformed a few months ago. I am a problem.
You got to collect all their cookout items as well, James. Don't forget.
I heard that shit.
Nah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it later. But yeah, man. I saw this and I was baffled that people hand waved this, didn't want to talk about it, tucked their tails, had no interest in commenting on this. But I'm like, I think this is pertinent information, guys. We should probably try to document this at some point in case a pattern develops. Excuse me, in case the pattern continues, because these things are already happening.
Yeah. So, what's it says? Browse asks, was it Fresca, right? Was it the Fresca? Yeah, it was a Fresca. It was the Fresca.
Sick. Take that down. They ain't paying us. Take that down.
Hey, they can pay me. Look,
I had to digitally impose that off the screen.
Look, man, was your boy Anderson .Paak on one of the Modelo commercials? I know he half Mexican, but goddamn it, he black too. We need look. I'm down to be on in one of them commercials, one of the Modelo commercials. Put me in there with Ray. I don't give a shit.
I just thought we need like a one of the MV editors. We need a highlight video of Pac and Anderson .Paak. Pick one of them Anderson .Paak songs and then like do his moves cut up to his shit like that.
All that drumming. Okay.
Oh man. But yeah. We will move on. My Twitter got more activated throughout the week, but we'll get to that another time.
Read the chat.
Rich is going queer Benoit James to avoid plugging stuff.
No, the one below that.
Mexican women review coming soon. CMLL? Stephanie Fakir?
Look, man. I don't know what to say. I just want to acknowledge that and what he said, or what they said. But I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like this review shit's hilarious.
La Hydra?
I mean, came to mind.
Yeah, man. So we'll get back to what was actually on the run sheet. That kind of just like came up out of nowhere because I was thinking about it before the show. But Kendrick Lamar last week popped out and showed a nigga like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck up the clip. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What a legendary moment in the history of like hip hop, West Coast rap. A lot of people call this Gangchella. There were several different, names for it and everything like that. And if you wanted to watch a nigga get executed, Amazon got it right there. Like Jeff Bezos was like, Yeah, I'll broadcast seeing this Canadian nigga get strung up, essentially. Like like Nas didn't get to do what he wanted to do to Jay-Z at Summer Jam. Like he didn't hang a damn doll of Drake above like the form or anything, but he might as well have. Like 5 times playing Not Like Us, opening with Euphoria. Just all the, the production value, camera cuts, all these songs that were some of his biggest hits of his career that all sound like Drake subs now. NBA players jumping on stage, sea-walking, NBA players staying in the crowd that were not able to go on stage.
Westbrook up there with DeRozan.
Yes.
When, like, it, famous NBA story was like after Nipsey got murdered, like Westbrook had that 20-20-20 game for the Sixers.
That's one of the
that's a legendary thing.
Bro, that's one of the most phenomenal sporty feats ever. Yo, this guy Nipsey, I'm gonna put 60 on the board in all these different ways combined to honor this man. And then, bro, that's crazy. That's like when you hear about Chris Paul scoring 61 for his grandfather and
then missed the free throw to make sure he didn't get to 62. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What's funny? I heard about that story before I knew it was Chris Paul.
Oh,
and then I later learned it was Chris Paul. It's like, holy shit, that's the same dude.
Yeah, so many people just showing up in the concert, and it was just this thing was head to head with Dynamite for most of the show. Did a number on the ratings. Look, I don't know if it did or not.
We're never going to be able to find out because it's streaming.
Right.
But if the Go Home show bounces back to the normal numbers, what other thing was there out there on television? And also, because I saw Meltzer was freaking out about the numbers.
Series.
Sorry?
College World Series apparently did big numbers.
I don't
know.
Was it big? I don't know. I don't know if it was big enough to make that level of a dent. But
I think they did 1.7 million. I don't know the demo number though.
Okay. Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see. That was my thing. Was it was obviously it's 1 week number or whatever else. But I saw that and I was like, wow. But back to the Kendrick thing is I actually listened to Element this weekend. Because I hadn't seen the concert yet. And I was listening to, and I was just like, what's it? Now when you listen to, Kendrick stuff and you're hearing him talking about what a lot of rappers do when they talk about somebody without naming them, you never know who it is or if it's an imaginary foe. It's like, was he talking about Drake this whole time? He's talking about Boogeyman and everything. It's like, this kind of goes in line with what ended up happening. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, bringing Dre out, then Dre whispers, I see dead people. I also want to see, for sure, everybody else that came out, before the open, the DJ Head stuff, Tyler came out and people were losing their minds. It was that's such a Cali thing because, around here, I don't hear many people talk about the Tyler stuff, but they were singing every single word of his, that, what's your name shit when he first came out. They were losing it. And that's before he got to Earthquake. So, and what's your name? That's one of them beats. Is that seems like some shit that you would have made. Right up your alley. But yeah, it was, that shit was, I can't remember I guess people will point to the 50th anniversary this happened. But I can't remember the last time a rapper made or had a concert or one single show that got this kind of buzz. Not even the OVO Fest or the Dreamville stuff gets this kind of buzz. And obviously those are annual things, and or even this. I think maybe Beyonce at Coachella, maybe, I don't know. But one singular person doing something, I can't remember. That's the last time I remember for a black artist trying to energizing, the zeitgeist in that way.
This was like a great celebration of the West Coast, but on top of it, it's a great celebration of hating Drake. And this was like someone that decided, like, I'm going to ruin this man, like the perception of this man. I'm going to ruin Juneteenth as a holiday for him. I'm going to remind him he's an outsider. I'm not also, only in this rap game. I'm
also further stepping on the shit he said in his diss records. I keep continuing to do that. Like, you know, like, I get off the plane and nothing has changed. I head to Delilah with all my ice. Bro, you live in LA area. You live in the hills. Yeah. Where it's nice and safe. And you go to Delilah in fucking Beverly Hills and everything else. You're not with the salt of the earth in this area. You're not in Inglewood. You're not in fucking Watts. You're not in Compton. You're not in East LA. None of that shit. None of it. Like, you are over there. You're over by Westwood and shit.
Bro, it's like he threw a fucking border around, like, these things. This shit was a call to action. Like, hey, anybody see this nigga Drake around here? Like, he ain't allowed to show his face around here. I'm not saying I'm going to do nothing to him, but he's not allowed here.
If you see that nigga on the freeway, like,
cut the exits off.
I mean, it's a fucking parking lot half the time anyway.
Yeah, Drake's a visitor. Like, as it was Brewhaven's mentioned in the comments, like in more ways than one. Right. That's what a lot of this was showing.
And that was the thing when I thought that, like, you know, the whole when before you dropped in, right after J. Cole had did the whole thing where he apologized or whatever else, it was like, hey man, like, most of these rappers, they want to live in LA. Kendrick's actually from there. You don't want that kind of smoke if you want to move around this area. He's actually from there. And Drake got got the embassy out there, that big ass house. And hey, bro, you got that big ass house out there. You're gonna be safe there, but you have to keep it over there. Way the fuck over there.
Yeah, I think it's so funny to see how ill-prepared Drake was for all this stuff that he thought he wanted, and this stuff is documented. It will not be forgotten. We saw how not only Drake was acting before Kendrick got started, his fans, some of the media, it was like, they acted like this guy was like no threat at all to him or whatever. It makes me feel like, you know, seeing Schoolboy Q on stage, all the Black Hippie members and everything, that was cool. But the whole thing, what I said was Schoolboy Q that came out, it was like, yo, don't come to school that day. Like, Cole, get out the way. This ain't for you. Like, this was just, I feel like I clocked that shit super early. Mm-hmm. And it was like, yeah, man. See, Slash Size, I don't think J. Cole was being a bitch. Like, once, no. I think...
I don't know if you heard that story, but, like, word came out, like, after that weekend that Kendrick put up, after the weekend of, like, you know, 616 in L.A., Family Matters, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us, word came out that Schoolboy Q notified, or word came out that beforehand, like right before the apology, like Schoolboy Q told J. Cole, back out of this. This isn't actually for you. This is to smoke Drake out into this because Kendrick wants to Drake. So Cole basically bowed out because he got the information that, like, he doesn't actually really want to. He was using the pretense of, like, I want, it's three kings. I want the other two to prove that I am the king amongst kings. But really, he really only wanted Drake.
Yeah. So, like, man, to run the song 5 times like that, allowing the crowd to rap it themselves, dancing to it, bringing all the different hoods and, you know, the industry people on stage. This is like as much of a spanking of a belt to ass in the history of hip hop.
I'm what the culture's feeling.
Like, Lil Flip ain't get it this bad.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Nah. Like, look, man, like, he said the shit. He's like, it's not just me. I'm what the culture's feeling. Like, yeah. Like, he has alienated himself from so many people. And I guess he thought he was too big for this to happen to him. And then it did. And, even in like the public perception thing where it's like, hey, Drake always gonna be Drake. or Drake is always going to be he's going to be around. He has superstar inertia. He's going to have 2 tours after this. They're going to be super successful after this. But we're never going to look at him. But we're never going to look at him the same after this. And if he's not a hip hop heavyweight, in gravity in 8 years, this is the start. This is the tipping point of it right here. Like, because to be quite honest, the quality of his music has dipped considerably anyway compared to what was already just stuff that for someone of his level of fame you would think would be better anyway. But like, I was like, oh, okay, you've peaked the game. Like, you just put out disposable music with a couple hits on it. You're a full-on pop star. Fine, whatever else. We know that, like, you can give us verses and features and hooks that are going to be, memorable and big hits, all that kind of stuff. But, you have a legacy and you're going to be considered as one, the most prolific hit maker in the history of this genre, in if he isn't already, right? And that's fine. So his legacy is cemented. But in certain other aspects, he was vulnerable, and this whole thing exposed all of it.
It was like the rush being cut. Like,
and like, bro, like, I still think it might be the best diss record. I still think Family Matters might be the best diss record I've ever heard from someone on a consensus decision that you lost a beef. That might be the best diss record from somebody in a beef I've ever heard, when everyone was like, oh yeah, you lost. But that shit was flames. Like, I cannot get over the shit he said about like, the shit he said about Weeknd, the shit he said about A$AP Rocky. Like, bro, like he fucking.
That wasn't for Kendrick. That was for other niggas.
No, right, but I'm saying, like, it's the same, but I'm saying, like, it was super impressive. It was super impressive. And within 30 minutes, it was like, oh, we've already stepped on it. Or 40 minutes was already stepped on. And then the next day, you got a song of the year put on a diss record where niggas is yelling out A minor. Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles.
OV ho.
Right.
Fixing on God.
Freaky ass nigga. Yeah. Baka's got a weird case. Why is he around?
Like, all them lines are gonna be like chopped up forever. Like, you can say that. Why is he around? Like Josh Giddey got traded this week. Chicago Bulls. Why is he around? Yeah. Like, this was sensational, man.
Bro,
on top of, like, it just being a great rap performance. This was like,
homeboy needs subpoena. The Predators moving flocks. That's gonna be a line. That thing is all-time quotable song.
Yeah, this is sad, man. And like, Aubrey's Angels are melting down on Twitter, saying Kendrick is dragging it too much now. They copping pleas now, James.
He definitely dragging. He's dragging that nigga carcass around the ground.
Yeah, look, backing up in reverse, pulling back out. He's shooting a video for Not Like Us.
He's dragging it like a hate crime.
Look, all I want, James, is somebody that's a fake Drake, like they did the fake Eazy-E and them Dr. Dre videos and shit like that. Like, I want a fake Drake in the video.
Can they get the actual fake Drake to do it?
Who?
Do you think it's so? Do you think that it is so low for Drake that fake Drake will then show up to play Drake in the video getting clowned on?
Look, hire somebody. Look, I want a fake Dennis in there with a mustache and a Steve Harvey suit.
I was gonna say, like, if you want a fake Dennis, don't you just gotta go to someone that can parody Steve Harvey and just do that?
Look, fake Sandra.
I think that if you do a fake Sandra, that can get problematic. So I think you might want to leave that one alone. Like, it's gonna be, because I just imagine somebody in the casting call gonna be like, hey, we gotta find somebody with the right nose. Leave that alone.
Oh man,
leave that alone. Don't do it.
Can we get the fake Adonis?
Just Dennis.
No. Okay, we'll leave Adonis out of it.
Hop yourself right into that anti-Semitism. I'm gonna have to put your ass right over there with Ross. So leave that alone.
No fake Adonis. I will take the fake Dennis. Can we get the fake OVO 40?
I mean, didn't fake OVO 40 make the beat to meet the grams?
Just bring Alchemist in there.
Just put Alchemist in it. Just say Alchemist. Hey, you just put these glasses on real quick.
Funniest part, DJ Mustard coming out. I'm rapping word for word with Kendrick. You're like, I am not impartial. I am standing over here.
Now, you know what we need to think about it, right?
What's up?
You know who really bang us said out there is my nigga YG. YG was there, nigga.
Yeah,
he was there at the pop out. Nigga, nobody. No.
Executive produced by Dave Free. His fiance Whitney sitting in the audience. This was amazing, man. This was just our own goal.
LeBron not on stage, but there.
What's up?
LeBron not on stage, but there.
Right. Look, knowing Drake was going to see that shit, and that man said, so what?
Yep. I remember when it came, the next day, that Sunday, after Not Like Us came out, and they showed LeBron and Savannah dancing in some club to that shit. I was like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet Drake cried when he saw that shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward, man. We have the Sky and the Fever on Sunday. Awesome game. Probably the best game I've ever seen from Angel Reese. And a collapse down the stretch from the Indiana Fever, which I was shocked as it was happening. I was like, what? It was almost like a slow motion car crash. Like, bro, like Caitlyn was carving them up like Magic Johnson and Jason Kidd with unreal generational passing that was like, it was just amazing to watch her teammates fumble some of the passes they did, miss some of the layups they did off of said passes, and just see like the control of the offense. And then for Angel Reese's part, like the way she busted Alyssa Smith's ass, like it was like they were talking to each other the whole game. And then Angel Reese was like, you know what? You play like you're real easygoing and laid back. I am not. I am built differently. And I have never been impressed with Angel Reese on the basketball court on offense. Mm-hmm. And seeing this, I still obviously don't think there's like, you know, there's still a long way to go offensively for her. But like if she's going to just out hustle everybody and out energize everybody, that will take her a long way.
Yeah.
I saw this, and Leah Boston had a good game. Kennedy Carter was awesome as well, and Marina Mabry choked up again towards the end of the game.
I got a question. So I saw I didn't watch the game because I had to take a cousin to the emergency room for something really stupid. But this is a pet peeve of mine as someone that played basketball as a person that had to play in the post or whatever else. It's like, all right, if you're going to play in the post, you have to know how to enter the ball the way that like you would like it also entered. So like that's the reason why I end up being a good passer in basketball, because it's like I know how to throw entry pass and how to someone's playing, you know, fronting, lobbed over the top, you know, that sort of stuff, simple things. When she threw that fucking entry pass that got picked off, that led to, she tried to throw an entry pass or a lob pass over the top to Angel Reese, who was fronted in the post, and like she had no clue that like she threw with no care for like the person playing the backside of it, and then getting picked off. That led to that botched dime that Caitlin Clark threw. I was like, where's Don Saley yelling at her right now? There is no way that would have happened at South Carolina. She would not have been yelled at over that. Like, this is your position. You fucked over. Like, if this happened to you, you'd be pissed. And she just ran her ass back up the court. Is like, yeah, man. Just how many more times they play? 5 more times?
I think they play 1 more time.
6 more times?
It's stupid.
7 more times.
Hell, let them play every week. Shit, like every game they played has been
what it feels like, doesn't it?
Every game they played has been fun to a certain degree. It's come down to the wire, and really competitive.
Caitlin Clark and Andrews have played each other 4 times since April.
Hey, run it up. Look.
America will never heal at this rate. They better stop.
I think the good thing about this one was like there was no like dumb story to come out of this. This was pretty much just basketball. Like, and I think these were like, I don't think Caitlin had her best game, but she was dominating in the third quarter with all that passing. She had 13 assists. She should have had like 16 or 17. Like some of the simple
part of the game.
What's up?
Blowing assists are a part of the game.
I understand that, but like people were like just blowing layups on her. Like it was like just unreal. Just like it wasn't like, hey, I'm kicking it to you for a wide open 3 and you're missing. Like this is like the hoop is right there, Kelsey Mitchell. Come on. This kind of came down to this insane sequence toward the end where Caitlin had kicked it up to Christy Wallace, who is public enemy number 1 of the Indiana Fever Twitter. And I think there's like 17 seconds left, and she like just goes to the rim out of control, throws up either an air ball or she misses a layup or something like that.
General slop.
Yeah, general slop, essentially. And it was like they still had 1 timeout. So I was like, why didn't they call a timeout and try to set something up? Or like put it in someone else's hands? I don't know. And then it came down to Aaliyah Boston ended up hitting after some of those missed free throws with Mabry. She hit one of them Tim Duncan 3-pointers in the playoffs where it was like, oh, you just threw that shit up there, like, and you happen to like just square your feet and you made that shit. Oh, okay. I was shocked.
Are you talking about the shot he made with Shaq draped all over him before the Derek Fisher shot? Or are you talking about the Amari Stoudemire? Or are you talking about that game 1 in 2007 shot?
That game 1.
Suns. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
So they were down by 1. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, they can run something for Caitlin coming off the screen. And Caitlin, the whole fourth quarter, not aggressive shooting the ball. The entire fourth quarter. So much getting the team involved. Like, and at this point, it was like the pick and roll with her and Boston was like undefendable. Like throughout the whole game.
Didn't they go away from it though? I didn't watch the game, but I heard they went away for a long stretch.
They went away from it for a long stretch, and it was just like puzzling. And it came down to her getting blitzed at the end, and she dropped it off to Aaliyah Boston at the top of the key.
It's the right play. Otherwise, you wanted to shoot an off balance going. She's right-handed. She's going to her right. You wanted to shoot it going right with someone draped over her and also someone coming from her side from roughly 30 feet. I don't know if Leah Boston has that in her game. I don't think she does the way that shot came off. But it's like they were down 1, right?
They were down 1. So like, she could have like took it to the rim. There were still 4 seconds. They could have run something different.
She would have got to the rim, so it would have been like, do you want her to throw up a runner?
We're talking about somebody in the gym range.
That's more or less the story of this year. When they when defenses put 2 on the ball on Caitlin Clark, the Draymond Green person that gets the ball to be the short roller ends up being Leah Boston. Leah Boston did not spend a lot of time her rookie year doing that. She scores from the post. Like the game she had against the Fever last game before that, like she did her work from the post. She's gonna have to grow. It's gonna be a growing pains on her becoming a better player in these situations, and this is one of the examples. Like it's gonna come down to experience, but like it looks, now they're not playing, a murderer's row of games against the best teams in the league right now. You're starting to see them against an average looking team, what they can do, and it looks a lot more promising than they had to start, where they were getting their brains beat out by the Connecticut Sun every 5 days. So, we'll see.
There's a lot of people asking about Chrissy Sides right now. I was like, what is she doing? Like,
why is she ignoring Matt still?
Yeah, I think the play calling could have definitely been better in the fourth quarter for them, and they blew this one because they had this, like they were up 15. And they blew the lead, and the Angel Reese was like, this I will not have. And then like Nalissa Smith, just like, I like Nalissa Smith. I think there's a lot of Lamar Odom to her game, like as far as like sometimes inconsistent. You don't know if they're all the way locked in, but if they are, they're a problem like that.
They're an X factor,
prone to like making mistakes or stuff like that. Like I see a lot of that in her game. And it seems like, her and Reese have had a thing going back to college against each other. So, and they play hard against each other.
Where did Smith play ball at?
Baylor.
Okay.
Under Kim Mulkey.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wait,
but,
is that where Nalissa and Dejanay met?
I would assume so.
Okay.
That's a good one. You think Mulkey knew what was up? Like
the problem isn't with Mulkey and her players, being or being queer. The problem is she don't want them to be out about it historically, and it's like, so Dejanay, you said this thing about obviously Caitlin Clark, and then you go at the game and start talking to Mrs. Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and hug her. That's weird. I thought you wanted allyship. No. When is your coach when the white woman you got a problem with the coach was your coach, and nah, she ain't got to do shit. When it's a player who's younger than you, the grown ass woman ain't got no accountability. But the person that is a young woman has it. Okay, all right, yeah. Whatever. Sure. Makes sense to me. Definitely makes sense to me.
Chicago got on the scoreboard. Kennedy Carter was awesome. She didn't miss a shot in the first half. I think some of the commentary, James, is like really getting on my nerves too, because like when we got all the why does every like WNBA analyst, it seems like they are making it their mission to reject math, to like there was a lady, I forgot what her name was. She was like, she's a coach, she worked a halftime show, she was next to Monica McNutt, and it's so much like of this, obviously, like we don't want to say anything negative about Caitlin Clark, but we don't want to praise her either, so we're just going to act like she doesn't exist and like say everything else is going on around her or whatever. And even then
everything that happened is like all these things are chain reactions of, do teams double her or not? Is what you're getting at? Yeah.
And it's like, why don't you understand this? And then it was like, she was like, the Fever have to, just get good shots. And, it was like, hold on, man. Like by that time, like the way the game was going, right?
Mm-hmm.
It only the result saved her from what like the actual like criticism that she had. At this point, I think the Sky had hit maybe 1 or 2 3-pointers. And at the half, like the Fever had hit like 7 or 9 or something like that. And I was like, if this continues, they're going to run off on them. And they ran off on them like in the middle of the third quarter.
So this was basically like a Byron Scott situation.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So like, and the Sky don't really have shooters like that. And aside from Marina Mabry, but I thought it was another, cool chapter in the rivalry between the two teams. 2.3 million viewers. This is out of here, man. I did have I was like thinking about, I was like, I think Angel Reese is going to end up making the All-Star team too.
Yeah.
I don't know if the voting reflects it right now. I would have to look, but I think she'll be in the top whatever percentage wise.
I figured she was already in. I figured she already made whatever the breakdown was, because it's going to be like a bunch of people that are on Team USA, right?
Right.
Yeah. I figured she made that cut.
What have you thought about like when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese get to team up? What this is going to be like?
No. But I can't wait to see the photo. I can't wait to see the photo of the team and see how close or far away they are from each other.
Oh my God, that's gonna be so funny.
Slash eyes. You didn't think of that, because that's the first thing I would have thought of. Like when they take the photo, are they gonna be on opposite ends, or are they gonna be right next to each other?
I thought more of the I hadn't thought of that, but I thought of like the play style kind of like, I'm like, I wonder if Angel Reese will be able to like set a screen for her and and see if they complement each other on the floor like that.
Probably will. Look, Angel Reese will do real good grabbing some of those bricks that Caitlin throws up from 30 feet. Do you see people trying to argue about
Bro, you know she's shooting like above 40% from 30 feet?
That don't surprise me. No, but what I say, like, I saw people complaining about or want to do the comparison between Caitlyn and Angel Reese or whatever else, and then I saw someone say that like Caitlyn is like shooting some terrible percentage. I was like, sir, like, look, man, I'm sorry, but like we have true shooting percentage to counteract the part where like threes are worth more than twos. Like I'm sorry, Grandpa. We're not using field goal percentage as a general measurement of the difficulty of shots anymore. We don't do that anymore. Like James Harden shooting 43% is not the same thing as Russell Westbrook shooting 43% because James Harden is taking like 8 or 10 3-pointers a game and Russell's taking like 4. No, it's not the same thing. It's not. I'm sorry. We got to move on. I understand. Like math is scares some of y'all, but this ain't that difficult.
People back in high school.
This ain't that difficult. It's not difficult to do basic math, basic ratios. It's not difficult to do. It is not difficult to read either. What did I yell at somebody about not reading? Oh, when Buddy, some person added Tom Haberstroh today or yesterday, pointing out that Anthony Davis, like 7 plays, 4 of them were on the road where LeBron threw a pass to Anthony Davis and Anthony Davis scored within 2 dribbles. It would say these weren't assists. And I was like, oh, you didn't read the article because the article is about like, well, Michael Jordan is about the part where like his defensive stats for shots and blocks are 2 to 3 times higher than they were at home than they were on the road. And then like there are games where he had 10 steals, but there weren't 10 live ball turnovers in the game. So it's impossible. There was a lie here in the stat padding. Like, those aren't the same things. Also, in that same article, they talked about the John Stockton assists. Where, like, assists are in the eye of the beholder and always have been. But, like, you're talking about when LeBron won his assist title, he had more assists per game on the road than at home. So are you trying to tell me, and it was also about like 0.2 assists per game. So are you trying to tell me that like the league or LeBron or the powers that be, however you want to call it, conspire with 29 fucking scorekeepers instead of the one for the Lakers? How dumb are you? Like, look, man, read articles. Like, I could have sworn.
Ain't that hard to click.
I could have sworn when people, I could have sworn Twitter added the thing where like, if you want to quote tweet something, he's like, you didn't read the article. Do you want to read it? Yes or no? I could have sworn that was added. Apparently people are like, no, I ain't got to read it. I'm just getting shots.
Fuck reading. What? Like.
Did you know a 2018 study showed half of prenatal vitamins tested had unacceptable levels of heavy metals? I'm Kat, mother of 3 and founder of Ritual. When I was 4 months pregnant, I couldn't find a prenatal I could trust, so I created my own. Ours is made traceable, third-party tested for heavy metals, and recently earned the Purity Award from the Clean Label Project. But don't just take my word for it. Get 25% off at ritual.com/prenatal.
But yeah, man, let's get to this Owen Hart tournament.
Do we have a bracket for it yet? Like a bracket we can see?
Yeah, we got. I'll send them to you right now.
Okay.
And I have some thoughts on this bracket for the Owen Hart tournament. One, it's definitely better than last year. However, we're still not in the place where I thought we would be with it, to where the very top of the company are all battling it out. And I'm just going to say it. If you don't see people in the tournament, you have to question their want to lose.
So who do you want to see in here that's not in here?
Why isn't MJF in this tournament? Why isn't Kazuchika Okada in this tournament?
Well, wouldn't the answer for that be, as far as MJF, wouldn't it be like he has a match with Hechisario on Forbidden Door?
Why would you sign off for a match with Hechisario when there's something where you can headline Wembley and get a world title match.
Well, you talking about in kayfabe or
in kayfabe? Like
well,
if we were to assume that
in kayfabe, the Young Bucks are fucking with him, or the Elite are fucking with him in kayfabe. Like they made Hechisario, they booked Hechisario to front face in kayfabe. Like I said, in kayfabe.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I think it's a good tournament. I don't think it's a great one, and it's not like when I say we're the best wrestle, we have great wrestlers in here. We have Claudio Castagnoli and Pac had a match. One of those guys never wins, except he won this match. Bryan Danielson never wins. He's an awesome all-time legend. Shingo Takagi, all-time legend against each other. Ray Phoenix, one of the greatest luchadors ever live. Mid Carter, Jay White shouldn't be near a belt, like a singles belt. Jeff Jarrett cut a phenomenal promo. Go out of your way to see that this weekend. Kind of like
shouldn't be in it.
Kind of getting. I can live with Jeff Jarrett based on like what that
because that promo he has to win, right?
He doesn't have to win, but he
not the tournament. I mean, win the one match though.
I don't think he's going to win a match. And then you got the wild card. I don't know who it's going to be. Some people think it's Hangman, but I don't think it's Hangman for some reason. Because if you bring Hangman back, there's another situation where it looks like you're going to have to beat the guy, right?
Well, another thing is like, do you want to give away Hangman versus Jay White?
I mean, they did it before, like in
I don't remember that.
Title Tuesday, they wrestled last year.
Okay.
Head-to-head against NXT. So Ray Phoenix and Jay
lost,
White.
didn't they?
What's up?
NXT won, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I just look at this tournament. It's just Bryan Danielson all over it. Like just a walk to the finals, right? Like there's no tension. Like there's no
look, man. If he goes through Takagi. If he goes through Shingo, Pac, and then like Jay White, that ain't exactly like he just beat nobody. Like,
but you don't believe any of them are going to beat him.
Like, who do you want to hear? Like, okay, you mentioned. Okay, so like MJF, would Kingston be good enough?
Kingston got a broke leg, so
that's right. You want Moxley in here?
I mean, he's got the IWGP belt. If he didn't have it, sure, he could get in it.
Right, but I'm saying like, given where we are right now, like except for MJF, I'm not really complaining about there's not enough heavyweights in this thing. I mean, Edge's leg is broken, or Cope's leg is broken. You want Christian in here?
I mean, he did just have no, he just lost a title match.
Okay.
Jack Perry, why is he not in this thing?
Jack Perry's in the thing, right? And he's in the cage, he's in that ladder match.
He's in that TNT shit.
Yeah.
Konosuke Takeshita. Like, these are going to be good matches. I don't want people to think I don't think they're going to be good matches.
Wait, is Takeshi in the match with Jack Perry too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, this is I don't know. Like, I don't think it's enough.
Samoa Joe?
Sure, Samoa Joe could be in it.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not. I'm in open. I'm in like in what do you call it? In good faith, asking like, is what like given where we are with some of the injuries, MJF's a good name like for a wild card like with Joe, Hangman. Is there?
I mean, Hangman would be my pick like that. I would use as a wild card person. I feel like you got enough because I feel like that's like a 50-50 match. Like if it's Hangman and Danielson in the finals, right? That's like, all right.
Is it though? Because when you just think, okay, Danielson's finally getting a win back. He never beat Hangman.
Beat him before. No, he's beat Hangman before.
I thought they've wrestled twice and Hangman. It was a tie the first time.
He beat him in a tournament of champions, like leading up after All Out 2022.
Okay, I totally forgot about that.
Trying to think. Who else?
You did mention Okada, right?
I did.
What is Okada doing? Is he just not allowed to be on Forbidden Door or something?
I don't know if he's not allowed, but he's definitely not booked.
Because he's wrestling somebody good coming up.
It's like, and I see like they have like they clearly don't give a fuck about someone having a belt facing the champion, because like the main event of Forbidden Door is Will Ospreay versus Swerve.
Right.
So I'm like, Okada could be in this thing. His belt doesn't have to be on the line. He can create a challenger if somebody beats him in it.
He still hasn't lost yet in AEW.
That's true. I mean,
I think they're probably protecting that.
Darby Allin, how's he doing? You know, has this guy been seen since the last pay-per-view?
I don't think so. And also, like, I didn't know he was cleared to wrestle even in that shit, and he did it anyway.
Yeah. You know, Orange Cassidy could have been in this thing.
Orange Cassidy's facing Saber.
Yeah. Most of this tournament is like, this tournament has already started, and like, I don't know. It just feels like it's just so. Looking at it, it might be the best that they could have done, but
I mean,
don't.
Here's the thing:
is MJF and Okada, I think, need to be in it.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair to ask. I would say that, like, if the whole thing is you want to put the whole tournament in here at the expense of booking a good solid pay-per-view card with stars that haven't taken recent L's and you have intrigue on them, I think this is the right approach, and I think this is a good enough selection of wrestlers. If the thing is, you could have had a Final Four on here where you could have had these matches with people, with these same certain people, go through the tournament to get to this, and had 3 matches from the tournament in here for Forbidden Door, then I could see why you say, okay, you could have used a better roster. But like, I think that going the route they went, this is the best you can come up with, unless you're going to start beating people and then put them on pay-per-view after beating them.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this card. I mean, and also, like, the given this third angle with Owen, and this is still by far the best like lineup they've ever had. Like, I'm not really all that mad. Like, I kind of have an expectation set for the Owen's not going to really be killer. And this is the best chance they ever had to have killer, because Danielson versus Takagi is killer. So, I mean, maybe I'm more positive on it than that. Maybe it's like, well, you know, like you mentioned, this ladder match thing, you didn't even have to do that. And then you could have had Takeshita. You could have had Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Because you tell me, like
I would have swapped out. I would have swapped out Jay White for Jack Perry. Like, and I don't know who needs to hear this.
I'll tell you this right now: if you want me to care about a tournament or whatever else, a good way to get me to care about it is to put Jack Perry or Orange Cassidy to go say Keshta in there instead of fucking Jeff Jarrett. I don't give a damn how good that promo was. It's still Jeff Jarrett. It's gonna come with the bullshit and the shenanigans and the strut and the guitar and the cheating and the fake ass wrestling, the shenanigans, the gaga. So whatever.
I wonder who the wild card is gonna be. I guess we'll see.
El Cabong. We had to come to get his gimmick back. You done stole it for 25 years. It's time for you to pay.
Women's side. This one's kind of, I think, loaded. Like, we already got half of this tournament already started. There was Will Nightingale and Serena D. Will ended up defeating her. Statlander and Nyla. Statlander beat Nyla this past week, so we have Willow versus Statlander as a semifinal match. I wonder if that will get announced as like a Forbidden Door pre-show match or something, as they are in Long Island. That is their kind of town.
Yep.
Then on the other side, we got Hikaru Shida, who's back, taking on Deonna Purrazzo. And then we got Mariah May and Saraya. So for me, this looks less obvious, but I see where they're going. And I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a dead spot here.
Mariah's is going to get her win back from the other week, but I was like, why the fuck did she lose to begin with?
Yep, she's going to beat Saraya.
Right.
She's probably going to fight Hikaru Shida in the semifinals. Yeah. Beat her, and then
that would be the biggest win of her career in AEW.
Yeah. Then she'll face Statlander in the finals and beat the heel Statlander. I think. And then, we're off to the races with Mariah and Tony.
Yeah, and I think the way you do that is you have Stokely cost Willow, and then Willow ends up costing Statlander in the final. So you get the rematch of Willow and Statlander later.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
So,
yes, James Boyd just said just his half fuck finishes. Yes, I know what I said. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware.
So let's do the preview for Forbidden Door.
All right.
So I am pulling up the card right now. There may be more matches announced this week.
Do we need to put out the obligatory PSA about people complaining about the length of this show because it's going to go the same 4 hours it always fucking goes?
Yeah, man.
It's going to start at 8. It's going to end at 12.
Yeah, get locked in. If you want to watch 4 matches on the pay-per-view, tons of commercials and various other bullshit, there's a promotion for you. This is not that promotion. Fuck off.
It's like you think it's a bad thing that there aren't commercials here look, man, if you don't care about this certain match, take your ass to get your fresh meal beverage during the certain match you ain't as jobbed about and then come back. No problem solved, but other people are okay and don't have to right now. So they'll watch the whole thing. It's fine.
Yeah. So let's go.
Sorry, UK.
We'll go bottom to top. So we'll go MJF versus Hechicero. I guess I must have missed the whole thing where the EVPs put Hechicero in there.
Well, it was Brian Cage speaking on behalf of putting him in. So you might have missed it that way.
Gotcha.
Because you might have been like, why the fuck is Hechicero next to fucking Gates of Agony?
That random.
Brian Cage, it makes no sense.
Like they say, we ain't hanging out with Swerve no more. That's all right. We gonna call our dog Hechicero.
Right.
What's up? Like, hold on, what? Like, so MJF versus Hechicero. This guy's awesome. Hechicero. The couple times I've ever seen him wrestle.
Yep.
MJF seems to be on a one-man mission right now to try to
re-injure himself,
to re-endear himself to hardcore fans. I feel like this is very Cody-ish and transparent here. So he's going to try to tear the house down with Hechicero.
Look, man, I really liked the MJF match that he had with MJF's match on Wednesday that he had with Roosh. He sold his ass off for him and he worked from underneath and everything. He can't be bumping like that and expect to. He's not Mayu Iwatani, he's not Darby Allin, he's not Kota Ibushi. Like, the way he was bumping into those rails, to the railing, was ridiculous. The bump he took off the apron, the flip bump he took to the floor, I mean, that's a big bump for anybody. He just got back. Because of his shoulder. Don't take the fake head first into the railing thing because you have to bump into what? Your fucking shoulders, man. What are you doing?
Him and Hechicero should be a good match.
This should be less lethal, or not lethal, but this should be less impactful on his body than the Roosh match. He bumped like a crazy man for Roosh.
Like Hechiciro's a rough rider. So.
He is, but I don't think he's gonna throw him into the railing 4 times.
Yeah, Roosh is a different animal there. But this will be in his backyard, Long Island. I'm sure he'll be very over there.
Yep.
And cool match. If nothing else. So
it's some straight up, what do you call it? It's some straight up like Fire Pro shit.
Yep.
Should be fun.
Yeah,
if MJF is on his shit like he appears to be.
Yeah. I'm gonna take MJF, obviously.
Yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy.
Their last match was fun as hell.
Yeah, the battle of the guys that both had mid-card belts last year. Everyone, the big argument was the TV title reign versus the international reign. What did people like better? I think depending on what company you watch, is who you'll probably argue for. So I didn't watch all the Zack Sabre matches, and if you ask me between Zack Sabre and Orange Cassidy, I want to watch Orange Cassidy. Sorry, but these guys have been in matches. They were matches I think they were in a 4-way last year. They were in the match faced off this week, that 4-on-4 party match that was awesome on Dynamite. I think
Mark Briscoe best on promos.
I think Zach's gonna win, but
again,
yeah.
But you mentioned that the 8-man tag with all the crazy shit. Hey man, Mark Briscoe best on interviews.
Hey man.
Look, man, they set it up where we know why you want to see us four together talking, and it ain't for Orange Cassidy and it ain't for Kyle O'Reilly. It's to hear him lose his damn mind. Because bro, I don't know if you peep Kyle O'Reilly's facial expressions when Renee was asking Orange Cassidy stuff. He was like, "No one wants to hear Orange Cassidy. We don't give a fuck." And then Renee went to Mark, and all of a sudden, O'Reilly was like, "Yes, we want to hear these shenanigans, this tomfoolery, this ridiculousness." And this absurdity, and bro, he's out of his mind, man. He's out of his mind.
You saw they booked Zack Sabre Jr. and Kyle O'Reilly this week.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's for me. That's just one of those for me. Like, man, put the two super technical guys in there, just gonna kick each other, hit each other hard to point. That's a James Boyd match. Sorry, that's a well, I don't really call the Zack Sabre Jr. match the tough white man matches, but O'Reilly's in there, so it'll be rough. It'll be rough.
Zack Sabre Jr. with that dye job and that haircut, that man come out there looking like rugged Ronnie Garvin.
I thought you were gonna say he looks like a Ken doll that been left out in the sun to melt. But yeah, same.
Orange Cassidy, he's bulletproof. He can lose. I think here, if you want to be nice in New Japan.
I mean, they do like Orange or Zach. I think Orange gets his win back from Sabre.
We got round 1, Owen Hart Foundation tournament, first round match, Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. I think much in the way of like Bryan Danielson's year has been saying everything that CM Punk has ever done in this company, I'm going to do and do better. He's going to continue here with his Owen Hart tournament that, when he wrestles the great wrestler from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think this is going to kick the shit out of whatever the fuck they did last year.
You think a Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi match gonna be better than CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima? Yes, I think so too, Rich. Yes. And I really like that fucking Punk and Kojima match last year. But look, man, it's not the same thing. It's not necessarily fair to CM Punk to be doing that. But whatever. The nasty work is the nasty work.
Yeah. Oh man. Someone's saying check TK's Twitter. What did this man say?
God.
Is this a problem? Like, what's going on here?
Oh, I expect him to get hit with a pumping bomber. You just ain't gonna, you ain't gonna pin him with it. That's all.
Okay, pulling up Tony Khan's Twitter. Ooh, that's for me. Lady Frost versus Stephanie Vaquera on Collision.
Oh, wow.
Daniel Garcia versus The Butcher. Battle of Buffalo on Collision.
I saw Daniel Garcia cutting a VTR about, not a VTR, but like a vignette or something about Buffalo. They're coming back to Buffalo?
Yeah, they're there on Saturday for Collision.
Okay.
Yeah. Lady Frost has actually worked in CMLL, I believe, before.
Yes.
She does all the
I think she's in one of those Grand Prix that they do in I want to say the fall of every year.
Got to follow from Lady Frost not too long ago, so shout out to Lady Frost. There's a BCC LIJ match booked for Dynamite as well. It's Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta versus Shingo, Teton, and Hiromu Takahashi. So that's going to be fun. Danielson will be on commentary. I assume they will make Tetsuya Naito will make an appearance. As far as this match, Danielson and Shingo is going to be fucking awesome. I think they're going to chop the holy living fuck out of each other. I'm anticipating a great match here. Like, and if they get time, who says they can't, run it up, to the 5,
Look, man, I can already see it now. Like when Shingo hits that man with that code word, that combo breaking jab and then goes for that short arm lariat, and then Danks catches the lariat and puts that shit into a yes lock. I'm a pop. I already see it happening, man. This is gonna be great. Can't wait. They've been to do something real nice for your boy. Yeah.
At the AEW Women's World Championship match, Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. The much improved women's division continues to be on display.
Yep.
Not only here, but also in the Owen Hart tournament with Mercedes Moné with the TBS belt, the the Willow Statlander stuff, some of the stuff that is happening in the other levels, like people that are getting run, like your Lady Frost and Queen Emanata and stuff like that. But starts here with Tony and Mina, and they have really committed to this thing. There's, I think, the surface level of like the women kissing and all that stuff that is there with it. But I think underneath all that is Mina Shirakawa working really hard to get over on American television, speaking English, cutting promos, displaying her personality, trying to get a bag, it looks like. And, knowing that she's being put in a big spot to deliver with Toni Storm. And I mean, Toni Storm already knows what it's about with Mina. So I don't think they're going to come half stepping. They're going to see Mercedes and Stephanie on the same card. This is going to be awesome. Like I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, I expect a very good match at the least. And we'll see what happens as far as that match's outcome and everything in the road to potentially the winner of the Owen. I think all that ties together real nice. Nice little bow.
We need to see how much it costs to get Don Omar out to Long Island so we can get Mina the real dance hard Kuduro. For the entrance and everything like that. I would love to see it. Will Washington, if you're listening. Who else? We got the TBS Championship and New Japan Strong title for title. Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vaquer. Mercedes showed up to Arena Mexico last week and it went down, as Pimp C would say. Stephanie Vaquer headbutted her hard as fuck, and like they had a nice little brawl. And Stephanie was like speaking Spanish. She was like, "Down here we speak Spanish, motherfucker. Like don't come out here with that English, And it was on. So I'm excited to see this. I think this is the time to get the belt that was made for Mercedes Moné back on Mercedes Moné.
Yep,
2-belt Mercedes. So she's walking around with 2 of them while Tony lives in a different world with the world belt. This, you gotta say, this is the best booked women's division in America, don't you? While the other show walks around with Liv fucking Morgan,
look, man, we got
her with Dominic Mysterio.
Rich, we got Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vaquer. We have Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. We have Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander. And then we just finished with Deonna Purrazzo versus Thunder Rosa. And we seemingly are headed towards Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Yeah.
It's time to wake it up, y'all. Like we need these narratives to get real loud, Before it was the manager that everybody was just loving, right? And that was his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that 100 times out of 100 over Liv Morgan and Bailey, who has a sixth of a knee left. No, absolutely not. Yeah, man. TNT ladder match. All the participants have not even been announced in this. So the people that we do have announced, this is going to be incredible.
Yep. Kanonte's in it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Or I think he is. Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Leo Rush, I believe Dante Martin.
I mean, he was in that 8-man tag. I thought he was in it.
Yeah. I think it was everybody in it except Saber and Cassidy.
Okay.
So I don't know if Kyle Fletcher is in it or not, but we'll see. Whatever it is, it's going to be a fucking car crash. We already know what's going down. Takeshi going to have to catch a bunch of motherfuckers. Mark Briscoe's lurking around in there.
He going to jump off something stupid too.
Yep. He's a ladder match, veteran, and
Legend.
Leo Rush has kind of been back into the fold. Yes. Takeshi might be able to throw that boy from Long Island to Brooklyn. Like, I think this has got Jack Perry written all over it, but it would be a nice little story to strap up Leo Rush and make Dante chase him. Would be nice, but I don't think they're going that way. I think
so
this
either.
is Big Jack.
Yeah, I think this is Jack Perry's to lose.
IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match: Jon Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito.
Hold 1 second, please. Dr. Larry said Leo's going to show up as Blackheart and get fired. Let me tell you this right now. Tony Khan,
man, that shit in the building.
You check his bag at the door. Make sure there's no fucking face. There's no paint. You make
better
sure.
not see no fucking goo in your bag.
Then when he comes in, right, and he has no paint, you walk into Malachi Black and say, under no circumstances, you allowed to give him any paint. No, none.
No paint, no goo, no mist, none of that.
Keep all the mysticism to yourself.
Like Jon Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. This is going to be, will Tetsuya Naito take the shirt off?
Did he take the shirt off against Jericho last year?
I don't think he did.
I mean, this is a title match.
Yeah.
So, I guess 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing about the Naito fans is they love the part where he doesn't care, and it's like, that's the part you don't get. When he doesn't care, like, it actually happens in his performances too. It ain't just about the shirt. It's about what the shirt represents. Like, this man be out here, like, half-assing it to y'all, and y'all love him for it. You fucking marks? Like, tell that man work for his goddamn money.
Oh, man. So, he put his G1 title, his G1 slot on the line if he loses. He's not losing.
That was just...
That's fucking hilarious. Just start offering ridiculous shit. If you're Tetsuya Naito,
no. What telegraphs?
Jon Moxley wins, he can become leader of LIJ.
Rich, what telegraphs it more that Naito's winning? If he had just lost, or if New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2024 in the state of the country right now, in the state of promotion says, I will not be on the G1 tour at all. Close the fucking doors. Yes, he's winning the belt. He may as well put his career on the line. That's how bad. That's how transparent this one was,
bro. Like, what are the most ridiculous things that he could have offered? Like,
I don't know.
Look, Dr. Lyric, could he even put his hair on the line? Like if I lose, I'll cut my hair.
I can tell you this right now. The worst thing for pro wrestling would be if Tetsuya Naito shaved his head and you saw that light bulb. That hair is doing a lot to preserve the legacy and the aura and the mystique. If you saw that man, if you knew what that man's head looked like without that hair, he is not tranquilo. That is a dork.
Oh, King of the North said Tetsuya Naito could have offered his baseball season tickets. If he lost, he could have offered the trademarks to LIJ. Who says that he has them?
Ooh, Zach in here. He said Naito the turkey. Book it.
Tetsuya Naito the turkey. Yikes! You gonna holler at MJF? So all right, I need to talk to somebody in the company. We need to have Okada walk by him backstage, like somehow, and be like, yeah, go win that belt or some shit like that. Like we need to have them cross paths. Be like, long time no see. Some shit like that. Or just say, bitch, like that, and then walk off.
That would be fucking hilarious.
I don't know if you do that before or after he wins the belt.
I tell you this right now. If there's a segment where those two walk to each other and Okada calls him a bitch, I may levitate off the fucking ground. I don't know what that'd be the greatest thing ever happened to Japanese pro wrestling ever for me. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god, bro! The full scale meltdowns that would incur. Oh my god! Oh my god! I need it. I need it. Look, I might have to send a message off.
Look,
you know,
Zach ain't here now. Zach ain't never coming back in here if that happens. Zach ain't never come back on this chat if that happens.
Oh my god!
Look, if that happens, I might pull up. I might. What the show is on Dynamite, whatever that happens on Dynamite, right? I might drive to Oldsmar to go knock on Zach's door and start talking shit to him right there.
Just walk in and yank the Naito towel off the wall.
Just drive to 15 minutes at night on a weeknight.
Man,
it ain't that it don't bother. He says it don't bother me. It don't let it bother you. It's that I'm getting my shit off. That's what it's about. This ain't about you.
This last eyes, Trish will become Denzel at the end of training days. You putting cases on all y'all. Yeah. Yeah. So, John Moxley's time with the IWGP belt seems to be up. What an interesting time it was.
You gonna write the eulogy for it?
Absolutely not.
No. No. This is what we should do. Should we have asked Josh or Jeremy or both of them to write their own individual Rich Lotta level eulogies for the title reign, talk about how inconsequential this was and unnecessary this was. How this thing turned out. It wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't worth a damn either.
It helped them in America, for sure, more than they would have. Yeah. But everything that everybody thought cool was going to happen, like as far as like a young guy winning it or something like that. No, it was just to give Naito a small little break before the G1 and everything like that, and a couple months lay low essentially for a couple tours.
Make sure you can't, make sure he'll never have an ace reign. That's what it's all about. Like, nah, can't trust him.
Yeah, so take it off for a couple months, win it back,
chaser. Let him chase some more,
and then bring it into the G1. That's kind of what it was. So like, I'm not really too excited for this match or anything, but it should be fine.
It has to be better than that last match. It has to be.
Yeah. So like, I hope Naito like comes to play. None of the botching shit. That I noticed Sonata is not booked, James, for none of this shit this year. What happened?
He's not the IWGP champion.
Did he not make a great impression last year?
The Sonata and Jack Perry match went on 4th, right?
Yeah.
Something tells me that John Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito will not go on 4th at Forbidden Door. Something tells me it won't.
Yeah. What else we got? No Ishii. I'm hoping for Ishii in the pre-show.
Hey, get Dr. Lariat out of here. Get him out. Eject him. Throw him out.
Jake Lee. Look, I've never seen that brother wrestle. However, I have never heard anything positive.
I got a match for you to watch. It'll make you say, get the fuck out of here.
Then the AEW World Championship match. Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. Quite frankly, one of the most anticipated matches in the history of the AEW Championship, I would say. Awesome face-to-face segment this week. Swerve making this shit personal, saying, hey, this ain't a game. I'll mention your child's name. I know you like that. Like, whatever you're doing for everybody else, can't fake it with me. I see you. And Ospreay came up with some good lines. He said, while you had a hit Raw, I had a hit list, and named all the people that he went through. I think this whole thing like has been nothing but aces high, from that, face to face that they did the week before without the mics, and then the promo segment head to head. And, looking at it, these guys have been in competition with each other
all year. So this is like kind of a crescendo in a certain way. And I think it just comes down to like, do you want Will Ospreay win the title in Long Island at Forbidden Door? I don't think you do. And I don't know who hasn't figured it out yet.
but it doesn't. Don't quite.
Don't. Wait. And then after the show, when we do the review next week, we can say, you dumb motherfuckers really thought they were going to put the belt on Will Ospreay, the pay-per-view, before Wembley. Not just wait until Wembley. It couldn't be held off. He's such an irresistible force, so we had to put it on him before. Because we thought that would sell tickets more than him going for the title at Wembley.
Look, there's a tweet right there, or a set of trending topics. Meltzer, Hawk Tua, Will Ospreay. Back up, Dave. Back slowly away from the British man.
Hop off the knob.
Let it lie for a moment. A moment. I think, the work that has gone into Swerve is turning him into
beans and toast.
The legit superstar that AEW thinks he can be. He's moving quarter hours. When these guys are face to face, I'm sorry, James, it does not look like some overwhelming Will Ospreay majority out there. Like, I hear so many loud Swerve's house chants. I'm like, are people's TV knobs broken? Like, do they not hear what I'm hearing? Or what is that? Like, like, did they think this is just some kind of game? Or, did they think that they have preconceived notions that turned out to all be wrong with the way that Swerve's been used?
I think it's the part where people need to see the marquee championship defense against an actual, like, top of the card guy. Because obviously, him beating Samoa Joe, Joe's a transitional champion. Him facing, him facing Christian Cage. That was also another thing where it's like, we know that's a safe, easy, non-threatening challenger. We want to see you versus the John Moxleys of the world, who, by the way, that match still out there because John Moxley beat him in the Grand, I'm gonna say the G1, I'm gonna say the Grand Prix, but in the Continental Classic last winter. Like, they want to see him versus the Moxleys. They want to see him against the Danglesons. They want to see him against the Ospreys, Pages, like we've seen. You know what I'm saying? They want to see that Omegas. People want to see that, and then, like, once that happens, he gets the W over that caliber of esteemed wrestler in the promotion. I think it's easier to believe and buy in that he's not going to get the rug pulled from him. I think people are just waiting to get someone to believe in that way. Like, they believe he can be champion, but can they believe he can be, like, he can have a significant run with the belt, as opposed to be another thing to get to whatever else is next after this, which everyone assumes is Ospreay, because that is going to be a eventual end game. That's a destination, or that's an end game, but we don't know if it's. But I don't know if people are so sure that it's not now as opposed to 13 months from now.
Yeah, I think the desperation for Will Ospreay for it all to be right now. I don't think it's now. I think this is the beginning. And we've mentioned that on the show before. I think this is the beginning. This is how you get people to be like, hey, man, this motherfucker's undeniable. Obviously, we know that shit. We know this fucking guy in the years of work that he's put in. And we know what he's looked like since he's rolled into this company.
Right. But it doesn't feel like in the traditional way of American Pro Wrestling where it's like, you build somebody by them having feuds with people that people know as brand names, and they go back and forth and then eventually win and move on and move higher and higher and higher. It's more or less like he has these matches set up, and then he's cutting the big promo to hype the match. It's not like he's doing traditional television where it's like we go week after week where we go back and forth each other, or we beat each other up, or we interfere in the matches and we build blood feuds. Like, he talks big shit that it has fighting words with people like he just did on Wednesday, but it's not the same thing as Hangman in Swerve. It's not the same thing as John Moxley and Kenny Omega, and I think that's the thing he's missing as far as growing roots in this company so far. And if you put the belt on him now,
he may never get them.
If he gets him, it'll be after he's already accomplished his chase, which is
after you've wasted it.
Right. So it makes more sense to build the roots over the next 13 months and then get to it. And then, adds another layer or more layers of emotional depth to the chase of the journey than it would be if he were to just win the belt in 8 months.
Look, the out's already there.
Yeah, 8 months.
The out's already there.
I'm sorry, not 8 months, 6 months. 6 months, sorry.
They had Swerve mentioning the Don Callis family. Can Will Ospreay do it alone? You had the group looking kind of crazy out here like, yeah, man, is this whatever? Like, Ospreay still has to make people, like, in the buildings he's over as fuck. Can't deny that.
Right.
But what you have to do is, like, if you believe Ospreay is somebody who you want to go to in the future with this thing, you need to fall in love with him. You need to learn to live and die with him.
And people are already doing that, but it's another thing, and it is very similar to, like, the decision where we're like, if you beat Cody now, you better damn well have him win the next year. Right? Like, if he fails now, he can't fail again. And that was the thing with
I don't even think
people were like, what the fuck are you
point.
doing? You don't have a better story than Cody winning the belt at WrestleMania 40.
I don't even think Will's at that point to like Cody equal to WrestleMania 39, where it's like, yeah, you could fucking strap him up right now. Like, I don't even think he's at that point. Like, I think by the time we leave Wembley this year, that's like when we're rounding that A. Like, I feel like next year's Wembley is like, there's a perfect time period to turn this guy into whatever the fuck you're going to turn him into. To do emotional stories, to make multiple the people that love the great matches and stuff like us and people that listen to this show and stuff like that. You're already in on Will Ospreay, right? But the regular motherfucker like that, I was at a show in Atlanta, his AEW TV debut when he wrestled Kyle Fletcher in that 5-star match, and I'm sitting next to these two guys like, you know, regular dudes or whatever from the street or whatever, like dudes dressed up, they got chains on, whatever. They had never seen Will Ospreay before, and they were watching him, and I could tell the comments they were making. They had never seen him. They weren't down in the match or anything, but they're like, "Why does he keep turning around like that?" Like, because they didn't know the Os Cutter was coming, whatever. And then when they saw it, they were like, "Oh shit, that's crazy" or whatever. Like, and I was like, when you convert these people, you need more time to convert more people like that, I think. Because
there are already people, because of his style, that are not going to be non-believers because people want wrestling to be like it was when they were a child. And his wrestling is for people that are going to be wrestling in the future. Like, he is the trendsetter. He's one of the trendsetters. So, like, that's gonna take a lot for people to overcome to then buy into him the same way it was for Shawn, because it was the size and it was all the crazy bumps. Or it was Brett and he's too small, or he's too technical, he's not charismatic enough. You're gonna have to give people a groundswell of support behind him. And I believe, like, also given his history in New Japan, like, this ain't just a Tony Khan thing. Will Ospreay wants the big baby face chase. He set that up for New Japan, and then they walked away from him because they felt like he was gonna leave. And he did. But, like, the big chase where, like, he finally does topple Okada. He finally does topple, he finally does topple Omega and all that kind of stuff. He was setting it all up 2 years ago. And he's now here. So, like, he's trying to do that again in a different way with people that are going to be his contemporaries. Like, so it's going to be MJF. It's going to be Swerve. It's going to be Hangman. It's going to be Omega again. It's going to be Danielson again at some point. Like, all over this next 2 years.
All these guys are going to, like, the top of this card is, I think, so locked in between Hangman, Swerve, Ospreay. Like, these are the guys, MJF, that are going to, like, face each other and have these, like, pivotal battles, not only for the generation, but for themselves. And then, like, you know, kind of writing what history says about them. And they all have great people to work with. Right. Each other. Like, this is like another potential golden age, like essentially how New Japan was in the mid 2010s. Like,
I don't know if I don't necessarily know if they're as deep as that time, but at the top, if you say the main eventer slots is like all of them are all guys that can be potential all-time guys, then yeah.
Like, and I think Swerve wins here, and I think he wins in impressive fashion. And this is like where people have to shut the fuck up, kind of.
So I think the match is going to be phenomenal. The one thing for me that I wish that Ospreay did not say in the promo, the one thing I thought the story was going to come down along to Ospreay's going to empty out everything. Swerve's going to kick out all of his best shots, and then because of the story and the seed planted from the Danielson match with the Tiger Driver being, he basically, I'm never going to do it. He is going to have a crisis of conscience of going up for it and then using it, and then Swerve is, and then he's not going to be able to do it, and then Swerve is going to take advantage of that and prove that he doesn't have, in fact, the killer instinct just yet. So he's going to put him away because he couldn't pull the trigger on that one particular time, and Swerve actually does have a kill shot. But then he said it in the promo about like whether or not he'll use it or not, and he can still beat him without it, and now it makes me question whether or not they're going to do that. But I thought that would have been a great story, that's a story on display while they're having their match of why Ospreay wasn't ready to win
maybe he's trying to tell and
this is going to be his like what do you call it? This is going to be his storytelling out for why he didn't win, right? And this is like the stumbling process of like the growth of over time, where it's like, hey man, this thing happened to Danielson or whatever else, but like, it's the wrestling business. You got to drop a motherfucker on their head to win. You got to drop a motherfucker on their head to win. Be like Tam Nakano, drop her straight down on her shit and get your belt, and get your moment. But you know,
Swerve's gonna show him he's a killer. Like, and
that's what I thought. And that's what Swerve was telling him 2 weeks ago. And I thought that was gonna be the whole thing. It's like, you ain't that you were the assassin. You hurt somebody really bad that you respect, and now you think that like you can't be yourself, and now the journey is to go find what you were or be at rest with like the part where like this is what it takes. And I thought he's going to have to learn over the next 13 months to get back to this point and, you know, redeem himself. But once he said it that way, I was like, I don't know if they're going to go with that, but I would have loved that they did.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those fatal flaws. There's like, you got to overcome that to then reach your, finish off your chase.
It's going to be a brave booking move, whatever they do.
Oh, yeah.
On this, because, there's an argument the other way too that I'm not making right now, because that's not how I feel about it, right? But you gotta think about the momentum this guy has come in here with, and recognize the fan support and see how he's hit the ground running. You got that, and that's not stuff I'm trying to take off the table. What I'm trying to display is that I think there's more on the table for everybody. You still get to continue forward with Swerve with this year, with going into Blood and Guts that he's talked about on TV, with the month of July and needing to fill that with people that he may, still have, matches with, people that have wins over him, like a Moxley or something like that. Then you look at the Owen Hart tournament, that looks like Danielson. So like, he's wrestled Danielson once and Danielson beat him. So like, does he want that back? Like, there's stuff set in motion, like all around this place. It's a lot more organized than a lot of grifters would have you believe. And it's been organized for, like essentially like a road to send both of these guys. This is a crossroads with these guys right now.
This is one match and moment that they're going to come back to and then have recalls off the match that they had before. Yeah. Similar to how the Omega and Ospreay. Similar to all the other, great matches that have, sequels and trilogies. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can't just rematch seeding the thing. This ain't the company for that.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be a great show. Should be. I'm looking forward to see what else is added, and it's in Long Island, so I'm not going or anything, but it would have been cool to go to this one, but I didn't do that. I was hanging this weekend. I actually was with Swerve. Y'all can see me holding the AEW Championship belt in the back of the joint. So that was, I saw some people saying, Rich don't take no mark pictures. He holds the real belt.
Next time, get video.
There are some video.
Okay.
There is some video that's out there. I don't know if, yeah.
Was the belt as heavy as it looks?
It is heavy as fuck, bro. Like, it's like, bro, why is it this heavy, bro? Like, because like when he won it when I was around, I didn't hold the belt then. I was just like kind of looking at it, whatever. But I was like, let me see this shit, and I put it on or whatever. It was pretty funny, but
hey, yo, Dr. Larry, that is insane.
But yeah, man. I don't really have much else.
Neither do I. I think that's it. The show, right?
Yeah.
Unless you want to do, unless you want to talk about what's it called?
The cookout items.
Yeah, the cookout items. So, listen to Keepin It Strong Style, and Josh knows me too well, knows us too well, and knows that like whatever you say was probably gonna get flamed. So he said, I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna bring whatever they tell me to bring. I'll bring whatever. I'm not gonna. I don't have a dish. And I was like, okay. He don't want to play because he think he correctly thinks you're gonna make fun of him. So all right, he left that alone. So Imp in the Discord was like, we don't do outdoor stuff in the UK because it rains all the time. I was like, what a party pooper. He don't want to do it. Also, he knows me too well, knows that he's gonna get flamed. And he also was like, nope, don't want to give him any info. I don't want to have to listen to One Nation Radio and they talk about the British barbecue or British cuisine again. I'm tired of their fucking jokes. So he I guess correctly chose not to abstain from voting as well. So then I listened to Tonal Talk.
Hey man, look, Ancho with that peach cobbler, I want to try.
Chicken salad with soup, and I fucking cackled. I died laughing. I replayed it 5 times. I couldn't believe. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, what is it with white folks and fruit? This like, it was almost like hearing about people putting like raisins in potato salad. And I don't like potato salad at all. Anybody's potato salad. But when I hear about people putting raisins in, I'm like, oh, I can't. But I don't even know what the fuck I barely even know what chicken salad is, but cranberries in it, you lost me. Totally lost me.
I've heard of that. So have you ever seen that? It's actually a store near you. It's called like Chicken Salad Chick. It's like a franchise or whatever. They sell shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That just sounds to me like something with a bunch of mayonnaise in it. Am I wrong?
You know, I like mayonnaise on sandwiches. I can't say
I like mayonnaise on sandwiches
else.
too. That's about it.
Yeah.
Maybe like in some type of spread or something. But maybe that is a spread. I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. Like is that some shit you put on a cracker?
Nah, yeah, I don't think you put mayo on no cracker. That's
No. Like a spread, like it's some type of like, not necessarily like dip, but like you eat it with crackers.
Well, you gotta get the raspberry spread with the crackers and cheese. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Chicken salad is a spread. Okay, so it is a spread. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, I'm trying to think what else did I hear.
I think Ann had the peach cobbler. I think.
Yes, because
you know what? I was like, I think that was my favorite.
Yes, as she said, she heard us talk about how we talked about the intricacies of mac and cheese. She was like, "Fuck that! I'm just gonna make a peach cobbler." Now, okay. Now, I can't. How do I say this? I think that's a really safe answer. Because I don't think I've ever had a bad peach cobbler unless it was burnt. So I think that's a win. I think it's a good dish. I think it's a solid dish. So shout out to Ann. And what was I was trying to think? Something about blueberries? Blueberry crumble or a blueberry cake or something?
I think blueberry crumble cake.
I mean, that actually sounds good. Now, I don't know if this is prepared at home or this is a store-bought or whatever the situation is. I don't know. But yeah, man, these are all, I mean, the desserts, it's hard. Desserts is not a bad route to go. Like, I'm not finna fuck up no protein. I'm not finna give somebody something that's gonna turn their stomach, whatever else. Obviously, it's real questionable with spread with mayo in it. That's questionable, right? But like, I think the dessert route is a good route. It's a safe route. That's the route, the easiest route towards victory, right?
Right.
Now Trish and Sarah, you have to remind me what Trish and Sarah, what they were bringing.
So, oh man, I have a horrible memory. So, I believe Sarah said she is going to provide Karen protection.
That's right. Yes, and I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I don't necessarily want that with me. Like she said, she's gonna be like the Karen against the Karens, and I was like, but that's like saying the way you stop a bad guy with a gun is with a gun. That seems dangerous.
And chocolate chip cookies, I believe she said.
More desserts, safe route, fine. Bring the chocolate chip cookies, keep the Karen shit, because that's like saying you stop a bad guy with a gun. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That is poor. That's faulty logic.
I can't recall Trish's off.
Cops getting called regardless, and guess what's gonna happen? They gonna fuck with us, and you be like, "Well, that wasn't my intended," but they gonna still come find us. That's how this works.
Oh, I can't think of Trish's right now. I'm gonna have to like pull it back up unless somebody in the comments can help me out real quick. But I believe she did mention the same thing with Imp about the rain and that not really being something they do over there. So
now, so all these desserts. So mostly all these are desserts. And I think they're all pretty solid choices. Now, I gotta ask, do y'all got pets? Because if y'all got pets, I don't want it. There's a thing with some of our white brothers and sisters where like they got pets. And they be letting pets lick the bowl when it be served in the process of making the shit, and they don't realize that we don't want to fuck with none of that. So if y'all got pets, thanks but no thanks. Keep that. You can have that. I appreciate you made it. Now keep it and you eat it. But if not, you can bring it. If you do, keep that shit.
This is crazy.
I don't mean that to be rude, but no thanks. Don't bring that. I'm actually slightly allergic to dogs. I'm slightly allergic to dogs, so don't, no thanks. I know y'all are probably listening for the podcast. If y'all see this in video form, I got the arms out of reach, like I'm trying to keep a distance between me and the dish. No, thank you.
Like, do y'all be like seeing like my whole thing? When I be hearing about folks be like feeding it, like it'd be a family dinner, right? But then like the dog is included too, and the dog is sitting like right there waiting for somebody to hand them something down, and it's like that ain't how I operate. Like that would not go over well. Wow, yeah, even with the saying for here, try the mashed potatoes, dog. Here you go. You know. Oh no, man, no, that's something else. Yeah, man. What a night. Wrap it up, man.
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Buy the merch, y'all.
Yeah, buy the merch. Thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. If you are watching from the stream, you can go to our show notes for the podcast when it's up, and you can go to the red circle link and you can donate there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style. You have All Things Elite, MSWE Adventures, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, Tunnel Talk. Did I say MSWE Adventures? I probably said it twice now. And also Wrestling Art with Chris Things. Thanks for listening. Later.
Stay away from them damn dogs.
You know Cody be feeding Pharaoh at the table. You know
absolutely, Pharaoh eats at the table.
Yep.
Growing businesses and finance professionals, you need Bill Spend and Expense, the free-to-use spend management software. It's powered by the Bill Divvy Corporate Card, which helps growing companies scale with credit lines of $500 to $15 million, automated expense reports, and as many virtual cards as you need. For a limited time, get $500 when you get started with Bill Spend and Expense. Request a demo at bill.com/get500. Terms and conditions apply. Advertised credit ranges are not guaranteed and are determined at approval. Card issued by Cross River Bank, member FDIC.